Unless you've been living under a rock, you're probably aware of the French prodigy Zen, who is likely making his RLesports debut in the upcoming spring split for Team Vitality. His recently expired RLesports ban has arguably added to his aura, and has given the community an extra year to familiarize themselves with someone who's been regularly touted as the world's best 2v2 player, and even mentioned in the overall best in the world conversation. You don't have to take it from me, this is a sentiment your favorite pro likely shares too. Especially now, following his recent, very successful endeavors into the constant goldmine that is the one scene. The Zen hype train has entered overdrive. It's even at a point where it's fair game to say that Zen might be the most hyped Rocket League player of all time. Or is he? You see, while the hype for Zen is truly justifiably higher than it was for the likes of Daniel, First Killer, or even the entire Middle Eastern region's RLesports debut, the sheer passage time has been another certain prodigy's hype lost to time. It's hard to imagine, but back in 2018, the Rocket League Championship Series was barely 2 years old. Only 8 teams in NALEU got to be in the RLesports, and there were even only 2 LANs a year. It was just a completely different era. In regards to prodigies, there wasn't a waiting list of 14-year-olds ready to enter the league the second they turned 15. Except for one. His name? Kyle "scrubkilla" Robertson, and this is why his pre-RLesports hype will never be topped. To modern fans, scrubkilla is a household name with his esports legacy. Despite results faltering in recent seasons, he is synonymous with winning the World Championship in Season 7 and then being within a single overtime of going back-to-back in Season 8. However, given we are living in 2023 at the time of recording, to some it may seem inconceivable at how Scrub's pre-RLesports hype could have ever eclipsed Zen's. Well, that's what I'm here to do. While I'm not here to put down one or the other, I hope comparing the two across all 3 game modes will not make people ease up on Zen, but rather remember and realize the sheer reverence that Scrub carried before his RLesports debut. So let's get into it. Despite not being the official RLesports game mode or even the most played in-game ranked playlist, the 1v1 competitive scene has achieved an extraordinary level of popularity and notoriety. Sure, you have people like me who refuse to play a single ranked 1v1 game, but those who like ones tend to be extremely passionate about it. Thanks to the work of Johnny Boy in particular, as well as Fear more recently, the mode has become the proving grounds for bragging rights aside the RLCS, especially if you cannot play in the RLCS. Zen quite recently decided to throw his hat into the 1v1 ring, whilst awaiting for his RLCS unban, having made some noise on the 1v1 ranked ladder. And well, his show matches have become the stuff of modern legend. Over the course of a single month, Zen walked into 1v1s with 0 show match or tournament experience and proceeded to notch up an 11-0 undefeated streak versus the world's best 1v1 players. The results were one thing, but the manner and fashion in which it was done was something else, as Zen displayed a level of flat-out mechanical superiority few had ever seen. All the while, he even played the cross-region matches often at a server and ping disadvantage. Sure, he eventually fell to our last, but in the blink of an eye, Zen shook up the very foundation of the 1v1 world rankings, very nearly topping them. As for scrubkilla and 1v1s, well, he is literally one of the main reasons 1v1 is as popular and respected as it is. From the moment he could not play RLCS, he immediately established himself as the top 1v1 player. He regularly went back and forth with the likes of Marky Duda and Cookster97 in 2016, causing Johnny Boy and the mode in general to gain a huge following in the process. There was no unimaginable undefeated streak. The likes of Fairy Peak and K-Dup gave him some struggles in 2017, but when it came to the first 1v1 tournaments though, scrubkilla was the king. He won 12 Titans Season 1, Johnny Boy's 2017 EU 1v1 Invitational, 12 Titans Season 2, and not long after his RLesports debut, the Mansfield Night 5k, all to huge fanfare. Look, there are no bonus points given to Scrub for being the original ones main, because his longevity and status in the mode amassed multiple victims over multiple years of tournaments, all in dominant and inevitable fashion. Zen may be the present and future of 1v1s, but Scrub laid the foundation for the mode and became one of one's greatest in the process. 2v2 is a tough mode to quantify. It is a living paradox, being the most played mode in ranked, yet having the least professional tournaments, but that does not lessen its relevance. Ask most pros the best way to improve or get noticed nowadays, and they will tell you to play ranked 2v2s. Since it's the main method of mechanical practice for pro players, doing damage in high level 2s lobbies will get you noticed. For Zen, it's meta revered. Even going back to 2021, Zen has regularly been called one of the best twos players in the game, with his aforementioned sheer mechanical superiority making his twos lobbies become psycho trading packs in practice. His tandems with Sazin and Radisson have become notorious. However, his duo with Exotic is the most well documented. Zen and Exotic tasted tournament success in the $4,000 DreamHack Beyond 2v2 tournament in 2021, as Leikoki took down Fairypick plus K-Dop, Seiko plus Vatira, and Oski plus Revzy twice to take home the title. But what about scrubkilla? Well, comparing the rank scene from 2018 to modern day is a difficult task, especially when during scrubs come up, 6-mans and non-RLesports tournaments were far more prevalent. Thankfully, there is one event that arguably trumps Zen's 2v2 accolades. In 2017 and 2018, there was a tournament called the Universal Open, a major international 2v2 LAN. For the second edition in 2018, scrubkilla and former world champion Greasymeister formed the team Girls. They qualified out of Europe after wins over Turbopulsar plus Remco and the previous year's grand finalists Magnus plus Metsonaurus. At the LAN finals, Scrub and Greasy will place second overall, with wins over the Ghost Gaming duo of Lehemir plus Memory, Team Secret's Freaky plus Killer number 7, and again, Complexity's Metsa Magnus duo, only losing twice to eventual champions Cloud9. Even then, both the upper and grand finals with C9 went to Game 5 and Game 7 respectively. The fact this happened just months before Scrub's RLesports debut only added to his hype, with him being one of a handful of players to make the grand finals of a major 2v2 LAN. Unfortunately, the contrasting climates between 2018 and modern day make the 2v2 comparison between Scrub and Zen somewhat inconclusive. Like sure, Scrub has a bigger accolade with the Universal Open second place, but Zen has arguably gotten more value out of 2v2 overall, so you can split it either way. Thankfully, there is one mode left that is not only the most important, but also the most telling. It's 3v3. When it comes to pre-RLesports accolades in 3v3, the comparisons between Zen and scrubkilla only get even more fascinating. For Zen, given his recent 1v1 endeavours and his 2v2 demigod status, his 3v3 results have gone way too far under the radar. While most people have now seen the infamous pickup team of Zen, Vatira and Seiko that only placed 6th in Rocket Baguette's Rising Stars, it's lesser known that Zen placed second in the prior season of the French League, teaming with Seiko and Porto and only losing to Atlantide Wave, a roster consisting of Sazin, Prime and Radisson. He'd also placed second at Gamers Assembly 2021, as in the €4,000 tournament he alongside Parker and Rizzo eliminated Atlantide Wave, and only lost in the grand finals to Vatira, Seiko and Oski. He'd round out 2021 with a third place at the DreamHack Beyond 3v3 in a team alongside Casio and Oski, and he'd get some nice Cactus Weekly wins as well. But it's been 2022 and beyond that has seen a huge step up for Zen. Since 2022, Zen has only played in 4 different 3v3 tournaments, and whichever one is the most impressive to you is honestly up for debate. Most notably, he is a 3-time back-to-back-to-back French LAN champion, winning Rocket Baguette's Urban Series numbers 2, 3 and 4. Do not be deceived by the €1,000 prize pools. His teams have reigned supreme over RLesports caliber teams consisting of the following players: Casio, Alpha 54, Shaw's F45, Itachi, Fairy Peak, Extra, Sazin, Kerrian, Econ, Vatira, Yukis, Parka, Prime, and Radisson. Sure, most of these results are limited to France, but if you're going to dominate a national scene, reigning supreme over the world's best country is quite the statement. But look, if 3 from French lands isn't impressive to you, there is also Zen showing in the in this tournament, where Caliente, consisting of Exotic, Zen, and Sazin, beaten Image's team fresh after RLesports Winter Major top 8, and Vitality in the semifinals, plus soon to be Solary in the grand finals. The latter two being two sides that will end the RLesports 21-22 spring split in 6th and 7th place respectively. Yep, that's right. Barely 1 year ago, Zen won a €10,000 tournament versus actual RLesports rosters with a pickup team. And that's considering Exotic and Season hadn't yet had their breakout RLesports performances. Regardless, Caliente back then was monstrous in their run to the title, as they were in Urban Series 3 as well. All of this has added up to make Zen on paper look like one of the world's most complete players, with a list of accolades so long that they're making me question the length of this script. Again, you might ask yourself, how could scrubkilla have topped this? Well, as Rocket League launched in 2015 and the game exploded in popularity, players who had played the predecessor, supersonic acrobatic rocket-powered battle cars, immediately had a huge advantage, having the basic mechanics of just hitting the ball and low aerials down to a T. Scrubkilla was one of these sharp vets, with images of him playing the game as a young child being well known. Now, while Scrubkilla wasn't immediately at the top of the game 2015 compared to the likes of Marky Duda, Cookster97 and Kronovi, he wasn't too far behind them either. In an era where G-Fantasy and ESL Weekly Cups were both very prevalent and prestigious, Scrub had many good showings in 2015, with multiple top 8s, top 4s and even the odd Grand Finals appearance. January 15, 2016 would see Scrubkilla win his first recorded tournament, with victory in G-Fantasy Weekly Cup 18 over the legendary Flipside Tactics roster, alongside Maestro and Greasy Meister of not too distant future We Them Girls fame. And from there, the sky seemed to be the limit. Following the Rocket League Central Pro League, where Crown and Jewels defeated Flipside in the legendary Best of 9 Grand Finals, in the then biggest Rocket League tournament ever, Pashi90 and Siki made a very aggressive roster decision to stay on top. They picked up Scrubkilla. In simpler terms, the then recent, major winning, best team in the world picked up Scrubkilla for RLCS in 2016. That is how good he was. In the few weekly tournaments the trio would play together, they did no worse than second place. And that includes some NA events where they beat top NA teams despite the ping. However, once the RLCS rules were released and 13-year-old Scrubkilla was deemed ineligible to play in RLCS since he wasn't 15, Pashi and Siki had to drop him, and thus Scrub had to wait 2 years to play in RLCS. Undeterred, in addition to his very successful 1v1 exploits, Scrub continued to make his name in the G-Fantasy Weekly Cups, which ran regularly until the end of 2018. He regularly would sub in for RLCS teams en route to victory, or just flat out beat them with his pickup teams, as permanent rosters were not an option for him. I cannot stress the value of these weekly cups from back in the day, but if the importance of them is lost on you dear viewers close to 5 years after the fact, fair enough, let's take a look at his pre-RLCS LAN resume instead. In Summit 60 in 2017, for a $6,200 prize pool, Scrubkilla won with Jesse and Moose over Sebadam, Doomsy and Bluey of Team Infuse, in now iconic fashion.
Jesse's in the net. Jesse's in trying to bump. There is a demo there. This shot from Scrubkilla. He's off the back wall. No way! Scrubkilla off the backboard. That's insane.
0 seconds. Scrubkilla gets up high. Doomsy can do absolutely nothing but watch as the ball trickles right underneath the crossbar.
Have we just witnessed that?
He followed that up with top 4 at DreamHack Summer 2017. As the Fuse kids, being Scrub, Pashi and Niels Cook, only lost 3-2 to eventual champions Flipside Tactics in the semi-finals. Despite that, they still managed to win over top NA side Rogue in the group stage. Even in 2018, as the G-Fantasy weekly wins continued to add up, Scrub impressed in some of the larger non-RLCS events. The rival esports EU 1K Cup saw reigning world champions Dignitas get bracket reset and pushed to the limit by the pickup team of Scrubkilla, Fairy Peak and Boot. All of these results led to Scrubkilla like Zen being signed by Team Vitality ahead of his RLCS debut, and this got the community very excited. Sure, Vitality's current roster that Zen will likely join is quite good, but Vitality in 2018 was competing at the top of Europe, with Fairy Peak, Pashi and Freaky qualifying for multiple world championships and placing top 4 at both E-League and DreamHack Leipzig. The fact that Scrub was going to be teamed with Fairy Peak was money, given Fairy had established himself as one of the best players in the world at the time. There was the hope and genuine expectation that this now improved Vitality roster would be the ones to dethrone and potentially take down the Dignitas dynasty, which might sound crazy in hindsight, but given Scrub had joined one of the best teams in the world 2 years prior and had maintained such a high level for so long, it wasn't even an unfair expectation. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the level of hype that surrounded Scrubkilla before his RLCS debut. Like I said earlier, none of this video is to put down Zen. The fact I am even comparing him to a former world champion should speak volumes to the status that he is held in. I just simply like telling stories, and some of Scrub's pre-RLCS endeavors had been lost to time, so I wanted to bring them to light. You don't even have to agree with the title of this video. RLesports' bigger status now means Zen's total hype in terms of impressions is far bigger for sure. But relative to the time, Scrub's pre-RLCS hype was and is something that, as far as I'm concerned, will never be topped.